The crash happened right over there, just outside the entrance to Oak Beach Park. It's a special Mother's Day for the woman who lives in this house in Deer Park. Migrants will soon be coming here to Yonkers, this Ramada specifically, where I got confirmation from the New York City Mayor's office that they have booked 100 rooms here. Families of the teens involved in the crash with the bus earlier this week are getting a lot of support from the community, as you can see here at Mimi's Coffee House. This is the second night of heartache for a mother and a daughter who live inside this home after their dog was stolen.
This isn't your typical grand opening.
It's fantastic.
Warren Cohn, owner of this men's shop, says these last 6 months were difficult after suddenly closing on September 3rd when a car slammed into his store.
We were closed for 6 months for the renovation. A lot of complications, supply chain, insurance.
Police arrested the driver, Jeffrey White of Central Islip. He faces a slew of charges, including driving while intoxicated and assault in the second degree.
It would have been tragic if somebody had gotten seriously hurt here, and I was thankful that, even the guy who drove walked away fine.
The store owner says the car barreled directly into his shop through here, where it took out this wall and hit that one where the car stopped.
This wall was totally pushed back.
Mary DeAndre, who owns the interior design store next door, was also forced to close.
My whole they were gone, the front windows, and a lot of my product was on the street.
As for the driver, his case is still pending in court.
What I wish happens is that the guy never gets behind the wheel of another car.
While the racks at the Amityville men's shop are mostly stocked up, Mary is still setting up her store, but is looking forward to reopening.
I'm excited.
In Amityville, Darius Radzius, News 12, Long Island. The Hudson Valley was under assault by fierce winds.
This feels like a freight train was coming through.
Mike Graziano's evergreen in front of his house in Congers just couldn't hold up. His Ring doorbell caught the moment it came down on his home.
There is some damage up on the roof and on the gutters over there, but it's minor, it's all replaceable.
Others in the region weren't so lucky. Some trees took down power lines with them. Jenny Stahn from Mount Pleasant is not only feeling powerless, her home has been powerless for nearly a full day.
But we lost power about 3 o'clock yesterday.
Making matters worse, temperatures plummeted into the single digits overnight.
The kids are freezing. It's this little girl's birthday party today, so it's making it a little bit difficult to get things in order. We do have pets that are... Turtle doesn't have its heat lamp, fishies don't have their filters, and our poor kitty cats are pretty cold, but we're hanging in.
The heavy winds appear to have snapped off the top of that tree as well as the top of that power pole, and the top of that tree landed in the middle of the road, taking down power lines with it, leaving people who live around here in the dark. Some homeowners were fortunate to have generators on hand to help them get through, and for those in desperate need for warmth, warming centers have been opened up. Many, like Stan, hope things get back to normal soon.
So we hope this all gets cleared up. We hope everyone stays safe, power comes back, and this girl has a happy birthday.
In Mount Pleasant, Darius Radzius, News 12.
This past week has been the roughest.
Along with family, Patricia Daugherty was at her mom's side at the hospital when she died Friday, a week after being struck by 3 cars. Her older sister, Debbie Lena, was also there and is still in shock.
This entire week, I kept waking up thinking, how on earth is this happening?
On her way home from work, 70-year-old Lynn Walsh was crossing Sunrise Highway at Unclaw Road when 3 cars hit her at around 9:15 at night. The first 2 remain, but the third car kept going, according to Nassau Police. Debbie was in bed when her phone rang.
I'm like, uh-oh, this is not a phone call that I want to answer right now.
Lynn hung on for 7 days, long enough for her family to say goodbye. Her youngest daughter, Patricia, says her mom was full of life.
She was a strong woman. She was a healthy, fit, strong woman.
She says she was dedicated not only at work, but especially to her family. Debbie says she loved her granddaughters so much.
She loved to teach them. She would come over with coloring books and little activity books and teach them the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. She's a huge fan of box turtles. Just would bring them over and play with the box turtles with the kids.
She says she also loved cooking and especially baking cakes, and that she loved giving people gifts. Debbie says Lynn was a great mom.
She took us camping. What was the name of the place? Otter Lake in Pennsylvania in the Poconos. And we would spend a week there, and it was just some of the greatest memories.
Patricia says it will be hard to live up to her mom's example.
My sister and I just want to mimic her. Like we, might be stressed parents, but we're trying to live up to my mother and all the values and giving back to community.
They say her legacy was the greatest gift she gave them. In East Patchogue, Darius Radzius, News 12, Long Island.
Well, it's all quiet here now, as you can see, but a 13-year-old student from Lindenhurst Middle School here is now hospitalized in critical condition, and a 12-year-old student is now charged with juvenile delinquency. But for a couple of hours with the kids inside and parents out here, it was chaotic and there was a lot of fear.
Yeah, he's all right. He's right here with me. Thank God.
Relief. That's what many parents here with kids who attend Lindenhurst Middle School are feeling after the building went into lockdown after a student was stabbed on school grounds. Worried parents like Sarah Cruz stood outside with her daughter on the phone.
She just said that something happened and she didn't know what was going on. Just a lot of, crying on the phone. She really didn't say much. I was just trying to calm her down.
Suffolk police say they got the call at around 12:30 Monday afternoon that a student was stabbed in the leg. In a letter to parents, the school superintendent says it happened during a fight between two students.
We're investigating an assault that occurred between a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old. During the assault, the 13-year-old was stabbed.
The boy was flown to Stony Brook University Hospital and police took the other student into custody.
He lost a lot of blood. It was the wound is up in his leg towards his groin, a lot of arteries and stuff up there.
After less than 2 hours, parents were allowed to take their kids home. In the meantime, Arturo Gonzalez says it was hard to wait outside.
It's scary. It's scary because you never know. All these things happening in the whole country, so you don't know what to expect.
And inside, 7th grader Javier Portillo says he saw the fight that led to the stabbing. He says he was scared.
Sometimes, but I think school is for safety, but it's not.
Well, the identities of the kids involved here have not been released by the police because of their ages. In Lindenhurst, Darius Radzius, News 12, Long Island.